Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda. Oh, the last few days have been very distracting. I have to deal with this, I have to deal with that. Family, money, and can really feel the difference in not being able to really focus on the goal of life, which is to be Krishna conscious. It's very difficult because of the distractions. So hopefully the dust is settling and can put the focus on Krishna. So we're going to try reading some more from the Chaitanya Bhagavata. And it is chapter 8, Jagannath Mishra returns to the spiritual world. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Tinamani Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pacharni Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paskitadi Satarni. One thing that happens before starting and reading again is that I get distracted and then I want to blame the distraction. See, that's where the offending others comes in. I'm the one that's allowing myself to be distracted. Whatever else is going on out there is going on out there. That's whatever people are doing or whatever's going on is going on. It's going to go on. All kinds of stuff is gonna go on. If I let that distract me, that's my problem. But no, I want to blame so-and-so or this event or that. It's always something else. We have to take responsibility for our own consciousness. We have to take responsibility for myself. If I'm getting distracted, it's something I'm doing. So, that's reassuring. I'm not a helpless victim. Conditioned soul loves to play the part of the helpless victim beyond circumstances beyond my control. Have done this to me. No. Oh, man. All right. It's spiritual bodybuilding time. Let's get a little bit of spiritual exercise going here. Spiritual hearing. So this is Jagannath Mishra returns to the spiritual world. Glory, glory to Lord Chaitanya, who's the ocean of mercy. Glory to the Lord, who's the moon, shining in the home of Sachi and Jagannath Mishra. Glory, glory to He, who is the life breath of Lord Nityananda. Glory, glory to He, who is the treasured house of the Sankirtan movement. Glory, glory to Lord Chaitanya, who is surrounded by his devotees. By hearing these descriptions of Lord Chaitanya, one attains pure devotional service. In this way, the Supreme Personality of Godhead enjoyed pastimes in Jagannath Mishra's home. He kept his true identity a secret. No one had the power to understand who he was. As many games as there are for boys in this world, the Lord played them all. Who has the power to describe them all? These pastimes will be revealed in the Vedas and Puranas. Then the fortunate people will hear of them. In this way, Lord Chaitanya tasted the nectar of his childhood pastimes. Eventually, the time for accepting the sacred thread came. On the day when he gave the sacred thread, Jagannath Mishra called the friends and relatives, and they came to his home. Everyone assembled there in great happiness. They performed different duties in the ceremony. The women called out, "Jai!" and sang songs glorifying Lord Krishna. The musicians played mridangas, shanais, and flutes. The Brahmins chanted the Vedas, and the poets recited prayers. Great happiness descended into Sachi's home. At an auspicious moment, Lord Chaitanya accepted the sacred thread in Sachi's home. In an auspicious month, on an auspicious day, at an auspicious moment, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Chaitanya, accepted the sacred thread. The graceful sacred thread was very glorious on the Lord's body. Assuming the slender form of that thread, Lord Ananta Shesha himself encircled the Lord's body. Then Lord Chaitanya manifested the form of Lord Vamana. Gazing at him, everyone became filled with bliss. As they gazed at the Lord's wonderful Brahminical splendor, no one could believe in his heart that he was looking at a mere human being. A danda in his hand and a cloth bag on his shoulder, Lord Chaitanya asked for alms at the homes of his devotees. Giving alms as far as they were possible, the men felt great happiness. Smiling, the women also placed alms in the Lord's cloth bag. Assuming the form of Brahmins' wives, Saraswati, Parvati, and the chaste wives of the great sages all came there. Gazing at Lord Chaitanya's Vamana form, they became very happy. They smiled. Again and again they placed alms in the Lord's cloth bag. In this way, Lord Chaitanya manifested the form and pastimes of Vamana. All these pastimes were meant to deliver the conditioned souls. Glory to Lord Chaitanya, who manifested the form of Vamana. O Lord, please give charity to me. Please place in my heart the gift of your 2 feet. Whoever hears this account of Lord Chaitanya accepting sacred thread attains the shelter of Lord Chaitanya's feet. In this way, the king of Vaikuntha enjoyed many pastimes in Sachi's home, pastimes that are secretly described in the Vedas. At home, the Lord already knew all the scriptures. Still, his heart was set on studying in the company of others. In Navadvip stayed Gangadas Pandit. He was the crest jewel of teachers. He was Sandipani Muni himself. He was very learned in the books describing Sanskrit grammar. Lord Chaitanya decided to study at his place. Understanding his son's hints, Jagannath Mishra took him to Gangadas's home. Seeing Jagannath Mishra, Gangadas respectively stood up, embraced him, and gave him a sitting place. Jagannath Mishra said, "I would like to place my son in your care. Please explain everything to him and allow him to study under your guidance." Gangadas replied, "I am very fortunate. As far as I have the power, I will teach him." Looking at his student, Gangadas became filled with happiness. Treating him like a son, he always kept him by his side. By hearing Gangadasa's explanations only once, the Lord understood everything. He would refute his teacher's explanations and then prove them again. There were thousands and thousands of students, but none could defeat the Lord. Seeing the Lord's wonderful intelligence, the teacher was very pleased, saying he was the best of all students, and he honored him. The Lord always defeated all the other students of Gangadas. Sri Murari Gupta, Sri Kamalakanta, and Krishnananda were among the most prominent of those students. The Lord would pose tricky logical questions and then proceed to defeat everyone. Some, thinking the Lord only a small boy, smiled, did not say anything. Every day, after hearing explanations and reading, the Lord went with friends his own age to bathe in the Ganga. There was no end to the number of students in Navadvip. After completing their studies, they would all go at midday to bathe in the Ganga. Thousands of students of different teachers would always argue amongst themselves. The Lord, now in the beginning of adolescence and very mischievous, would pick quarrels with the other students. One boy would say, "What intelligence does your teacher have?" Another boy would say, "Look whose student I am." In this way, little by little, the arguments and insults would grow more heated. Then they splashed water, then they threw sand, then fights would break out. Someone might throw mud on another and then beat him up also. Someone would swear, grab another boy, beat him up, and then swim to the other shore of the Ganga. The students, shoving and fighting, made the Ganga's waters muddy and filled with sand. Because of this, the women could not fill their jars with water, and the saintly Brahmins could not bathe. Lord Chaitanya was very restless and mischievous. He would go from bathing place to bathing place. At each bathing place there was no end to the number of students. At each place the Lord would pick quarrels. At each bathing place the Lord would swim in the Ganga. At one bathing place he played a game with 2 and 4 sticks. Some of the advanced students asked him, "Why do you pick quarrels?" They asked, "We want to know how intelligent you are. We want to see how much you know about Panji's commentary." The Lord replied, "Good, good, whoever has the desire in his heart may question me." Someone asked, "Why are you so arrogant?" The Lord replied, "You may ask any question that is in your mind." One student asked, "Explain verbal roots." The Lord replied, "I will explain. Give me your attention and listen." Then Lord Chaitanya, the all-powerful Supreme Personality of Godhead, explained the roots of verbs. His explanations were perfect. Hearing these explanations, everyone spoke words of praise. Then the Lord said, "Listen again. Now I will refute my own explanations." The Lord then refuted everything it said. Now he explained everything in a different way. The Lord said, "Who has the power to disprove my words and prove that something else is the truth?" Wonder filled the minds of everyone. The Lord said, "Listen, I will prove that something else is the truth." Then the Lord gave a different explanation of the truth. All his arguments were perfect and beautiful. They were flawless. All the older students happily embraced the Lord. The student said, "Now you may go home. Tomorrow we will have other questions you may like to answer." In this way, every day, the king of Vaikuntha enjoyed nectar pastimes of logic and learning. Accompanied by his students, all-knowing Brihaspati came to Navadvip and participated in these pastimes. Accompanied by the other boys, again and again, Lord Chaitanya played in the water and happily swam to the Ganga's other shore. Seeing Lord Krishna Chandra's pastimes in the Yamuna, the Ganga became filled with desire. Again and again the Ganga declared, "When will I become fortunate like the Yamuna?" Although Brahma, Shiva, and the demigods offer prayers to her, the Ganga yearned to attain the elevated position of the Yamuna. Lord Chaitanya, who is a kalpa-vriksha tree that fulfills all desires, again and again fulfilled the Ganga's desire. After enjoying many pastimes in the Ganga's waters, Lord Chaitanya would happily return home. There, after properly worshipping Lord Vishnu, watering Tulsi Devi, Lord Chaitanya would take his meal. After his meal, the Lord would at once take his books and go to a secluded place. There, the Lord wrote his own commentary on the sutras. He, who is the jewel of the demigods, became plunged in the nectar of study. Seeing this, saintly Jagannath Mishra floated in bliss day and night, but he never revealed his happiness to anyone.